It was very hard because we had this little girl who was just adorable. I mean, from the minute she was born, she just was stunning and adorable, but she hardly ever smiled. And we didn't know why. I mean, we tried so hard to figure out why she was so unhappy. And it was pretty tough. Gracie had been suicidal for years, you know, since she was about 3 or 4. She would talk about, I remember one time she said, I just want to go home. She was about 6. And she said, I just want to go home. She was crying and she was in the middle of this fit, and she said, I just want to go home. And I said, Gracie, you are home. And she said, no, not here. Back to where I came from. I don't want to be here. I've never wanted to be here. And I knew what she was talking about. She remembered or had some sort of memory of before she was born, and she was intent on going back there. And the older she got, the more she was able to really express that she did not want to be alive. We tried different psychiatrists, and we tried therapists and our pediatrician, and pretty much across the board, everyone suggested that we do drugs, that we give her drugs. That wasn't that unusual, and lots of the kids were on them now. But, you know, every time I would look into it, I just felt in my heart it wasn't the right thing to do. As we were dealing with that, and we were dealing with everybody across the board saying medicate her, we did feel by the time she was 11 that maybe we should just give in and medicate her. And I called this one psychiatrist. He was the only one that was in our area. And I said, fine, I will medicate her. Just prescribe something and call it into the pharmacy, because she's off her rocker right now and I can't go another hour. And he said, no, I won't. You have to come in. And I thought he just wanted another fee, making me come in. And he said, you have to come in and I'll explain to you what the medications are and what their side effects are and the pros and cons of each one. And then you go home to your husband and you talk to him about it, and then you let me know. I was really angry with him for not just calling it into the pharmacy, because I needed it right away. But I went in that afternoon, and he described all of these antipsychotic medicines and antidepressives and all of the different options that we had. And I wrote it down. You know, I brought a sheet of loose leaf and I wrote down everything so I could go back to Chris. And I was getting more and more depressed as he went on, because I knew every time he listed off a medication and what it would do and how he would have to give her an additional medication to counteract the effects of this medication, I knew that I couldn't in my heart, even though we were desperate and that we might lose her, I couldn't give her these drugs. But I took down all the information and I went home to Chris and I told him, I'm going to tell you what I heard, and you can make up your own mind. So I read through the whole thing and I tried to be very impartial. And I got to the end of it, you know, this is this drug and this is what it will do. And I said to him, I don't know how you feel about it. You probably are going to tell me this second one is probably what we should do, but I can't see us giving her these. And he said, I can't either. I was sitting on the porch swing, and the house was fairly quiet. And I think they were all watching a video. I think all 3 kids were watching a video. And Chris came home from grocery shopping, and he had a magazine in his hand. And I was feeling pretty low. You know, we had just the day before gotten this report, and I didn't know what we were going to do. I didn't even know if I could keep Gracie in the house. I didn't know who to ship her off to. I was worried about the other 2 kids. And he had this magazine, And he tossed the magazine to me and he said, "There might be something in this magazine for us." And I said, "What?" And he said, "Look there, it says 4 vitamins for mental health or something." And it was the Discover magazine where Truehope had the big article. And I picked it up because I thought vitamins sound better. And I read this article and it was a life-changing moment. I can be back on that porch swing right now and I can remember exactly how I felt reading that article and realizing this was going to open the door for my daughter somehow, some way. This program in Canada, these people are going to help me. That first year, I would definitely say to parents who have their kids on this, I know, I hope for you that it's really a smooth start and transition, but if it's not, don't despair, because just stay with it. Just do anything that you can to get your child to be compliant with taking the vitamin, because once they get compliant, what a wonderful world that is, I mean, Gracie takes the vitamins 3 times a day. Sometimes she might forget, or it'll be late at night and I'll be saying, "Gracie, you didn't take the last set," but she'll go down and she'll take them. Because a compliant child, then you're really on the road to recovery, because they're getting those vitamins at the intervals that they need them and they're going to work. It's just so wonderful to see her be able to enjoy life, because there was no enjoyment of life at all before. The only time Gracie enjoyed life before vitamins was before Truehope, was when she was on a roller coaster. And Chris and I used to think we should just get a trailer and live next to the amusement park, because she loves a roller coaster, because that was the only time we saw her smile. I pray every day that Truehope will be around forever, because we can't afford for Truehope not to be around forever. So I definitely thank the founders for sticking it out. Hard times sometimes.